Welcome to Rick's Europe. Today we're going to discuss the Epstein client list because how can we not? We all know, of course, Epstein, the billionaire who was running this criminal organization, helping royalties, celebrities, politicians even, to get to the elite island where they were abusing minor girls. And so far, no one on that list has been convicted. So people want to know who was actually part of and who was compromised in the Epstein list. Now, when Trump was running for office, it was one of the promises that he was making, that he would actually open up those files. And now he made a 180-degree change, saying that there is no list and it's a hoax. So what is actually going on? Well, who better to discuss this than the one and only relentless Bill Robinson. Bill, it's always good to have you.
Oh, Scarlett, so great to see you. Honored to be with you. Thank you.
So let's get right into it, because what is going on? Honestly, first, we were promised that he would release the Epstein files, which a part of was already released back in February. Now, not even 24 hours ago, he said, oh, but there isn't. It's a hoax.
So the American update on the Epstein list, I know people... What? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, please, go ahead.
The American update on what's going on with the Epstein list, I know that people around the world are probably wondering, has Trump lost his mind? And that's the way it's made to look.
Yeah.
And that's because the people who are still trying to kill him, the people who are still trying to impeach him, the people who are still trying to destroy everything good that he does are still up to no good and still trying to harm our president. And so this is something that is very disappointing. I mean, Trump has had what is called a flawless July. We're only 2 weeks into July. Immigration is zero. He's locked up the southern border in America airtight. So that was his central campaign promise and what he talked about when he came down the golden escalator in 2015. He has not changed any of that. That was his central campaign promise. The secondary promise, which is so obvious and so important, is the economy.
Bill, no, you're getting derailed. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the Epstein list. Even Pam Bondi, when she got into office, said out that she would release within 1 day the list. We still have not seen it. What is going on? Is Trump trying to hide something?
No, Trump's not trying to hide anything. He was the first one to recognize what a pedophile Jeffrey Epstein was. He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago in 2005. So Trump is no friend of Jeffrey Epstein. There's been pictures of him with Epstein, but there's absolutely no record of him making any trips to Lolita Island or being involved in this scandal. He is going after Jeffrey Epstein. He's kind of busy with things like war and things like the economy and immigration. He's doing a great job on all of that. And what these people are doing is ignoring it and going after him, which is exactly what the Democrats want. So now Steve Bannon, Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, even Marjorie Taylor Greene, the great congresswoman that everybody loved up until 5 minutes ago, are making the strangest claims about Trump, that he's not releasing the information, that he's not doing this, he's not doing that. What I think the MAGA base thinks, they talk about they know what the MAGA base wants. They're not MAGA. They're not MAGA itself. They've been part of MAGA for a long time, and it's just out of character for all these people to start going against Trump. And it's something the Democrats love. The Democrats in our country are the same as the Labour Party in the UK, the Green Party, and all the lunatics in politics in Europe. And so they're still going after Trump, and this is part of it. The things that Trump are doing are supremely important, and Jeffrey Epstein is just not at the top of the list. Does that mean nobody wants to see a convicted pedophile and all the people that...
Yeah, but that's strange. Why isn't it on top of the list? For a lot of people, it is something that should be on top of the list. We're talking about pedophiles. We're talking about the most powerful people getting away with such a horrendous crime, and people want to see that there will be justice. And even if it's a hoax, what Trump is saying now, at least release those files so people can see it with their own eyes. It seems to be a full cover-up. And we're talking about crucial documents. And if people cannot ask those questions, like what is in those documents? Is it really a hoax? Then we are lost as a democracy. This goes deeper than saying, oh, it's not a priority on the list. It is. Because as if you start hiding things, you undermine the one promise that you made to the American people, which is to give full-blown transparency. Trump was the guy that said, I promise I will do everything different, but he's so far not doing that.
This is part of getting to the deep state. The deep state doesn't get eradicated in the United States after 6 or 7 months of Trump's presidency. It takes a little while. I mean, what he's been doing now is, and this wasn't a central campaign promise. I hear people who support Tucker Carlson saying Trump is complicit with Netanyahu in bombing Iran. I mean, these people have been after him. This isn't the first time they've gone after him. They did it 2 weeks ago, and they were saying it was going to lead to World War III. Now they're jumping on to another issue, and they're not trusting Trump as we should. This guy has never let us down, and it was not a central campaign promise. What he was talking about was the deep state. This is involved in that, but there are other things more important, like stopping world wars in several different locations at the same time. That's more important than getting the global pedophile network brought down. I want that. I'm a father and a grandfather. Everybody in America wants that. But what we're complaining about here is these people in the media, in the conservative media, formerly trustworthy, have now turned on Trump, and they're demanding that Trump stop everything else he's doing and work on Jeffrey Epstein. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. When Trump was talking about, he was in this whole thing started with Epstein during a Oval Office press conference, and they're talking about all the little girls that were killed in the floods in Texas, and they're talking about all these important things and how do we help those people, and then some idiot from the mainstream media brings up, oh, what are you doing about the Epstein files? Well, Trump said immediately, why are you bringing that up right now? We're talking about what's going on in Kerr County, Texas. So why are you bringing that up right now? Well, obviously they've had an agenda. Obviously they want to talk about the global pedophile network. They really don't want to talk about that. But when they feel like they can bring Trump down with it, then they want to talk about it. So when President Trump responds that his past supporters are trying to bring him down and they're responding to a Democrat hoax, another hoax, Russia, impeachment.
Well, he did say some very tough words. He literally said, and I quote right now, he said, and the sad part is that it's the people that are really doing the Democrats' work. They're stupid people. Well, a lot of those people are MAGA. They're Trump supporters. He's calling his own support, he's calling his own support stupid. That's a very harsh comment.
He's not calling me stupid. He's not calling people who remain loyal to him stupid. He's calling disloyal people who are doing a lot of harm to MAGA right now stupid people. And I agree they are.
But why is it so that Trump is able to close the border, send those illegal aliens away, and he does that within, what is it, not even a week after coming back in office? But then the Epstein list, like there's so many victims that have come forward that said, please hear me out, that are ready to give a statement. Those documents should already be known. I cannot imagine that now out of the sudden they have to compose that list. That list has been made a long time ago. That list is already there.
So the reason
now he's even denying that there is a list. He goes beyond that. It goes beyond saying, oh, we're not going to release it. He's saying that it's a hoax. Do you understand how this looks for people? They feel that they are being played with.
Yes, the reason.
And that feels as because you say, oh, those people are betraying Trump. Well, they view it the other way.
Well, so the reason you can't imagine it is because that's not what's going on. Trump is doing a lot of things behind the scenes that we don't know about. He can't say, oh, yes, I'm dropping everything else and I'm going after Jeffrey Epstein. He's been going after Epstein since the beginning of his second term. And he doesn't talk about it. The reason he doesn't talk about it is because he doesn't want to telegraph to all the global pedophiles. I don't know, Klaus Schwab, George Soros, all Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, all the people that have been named already. We know the names of a lot of the people that have been involved in this. Bill and Hillary Clinton, George Mitchell, the former senator, Bill Richardson, the former governor, and Clinton Easta. We know a lot. Tom Hanks, Lady Gaga. There's been a whole bunch of names mentioned on being on Lolita Island. And so he doesn't want to tip them off. What he wants to do is make them think the opposite. He wants to make them think, boy, Trump's really in trouble now. He can't even spend any time on this. He's telling us he's not doing anything with this. So a couple of things are going on that people don't know about and that I think are going on. Nobody really knows because I think Trump is pulling a hoax on all of us. And there's a good possibility in my mind that he went to Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, MTG, Steve Bannon and said, listen, I'm going to pull a fast one on all of America. I'm going to act like I'm not interested in going after the Epstein people while that's my number one priority right now. So what happened within a couple of days of this whole thing, this whole blow up? Ghislaine Maxwell is flipping. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell is the key to the whole thing. If she flips, Trump's going to have all the names and everything else. And I think he already has them. He's just waiting to coordinate mass arrests of these people. Now, if that's not good enough and everybody wants all the people arrested tomorrow, I'm sorry. The rest of America and President Trump doesn't operate on what Steve Bannon and Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson want. They keep saying they're MAGA. They're not MAGA itself. They do not represent MAGA. They're part of MAGA. Okay. MAGA is President Trump. He founded it. And there are a lot of loyal people. I know that all you hear is the shrieking goats from the United States saying, well, you know, President Trump's not doing this. He's part of it. He's complicit. You know, it's just beyond the pale. Trump has got this. You have to listen to me. Trump has got this. He's never let us down. And he's not about to start now. He's a father and a grandfather like I am. And he's a mother. He's like, you know, there are mothers and grandmothers that also want these children protected and brought out of sexual slavery around the world. And the Democrats are behind this. And the reason they're acting like that, that Trump is involved in the Epstein thing is because they've always tried to tie him to it. He's not tied to this at all, except that he met Jeffrey Epstein. They were both billionaires in New York. Of course they did. But the fact of the matter is, I think Trump is playing 5D chess again. Remember, it was like 2 weeks ago that we were saying Trump's a genius and he's playing 5D chess. I'll tell you when this all started. It started when the left wanted to get rid of Elon Musk. And Elon Musk was somebody they had to get rid of because he helped Trump win and get back into the White House. So how did that first occur? Steve Bannon started saying, we're going to deport Elon Musk in tweets and stuff, going after Elon Musk. And that ended up pretty badly for Steve Bannon because Elon Musk called him a fat, drunken slob. So, and then that's when the pressure started on the relationship between President Trump and Elon Musk. That was step number one for the Democrats in getting rid of Musk and having us do it. So the whole thing started with Bannon going after Musk, and now President Trump and Elon are on the outs. So that's a bromance that was ruined by MAGA, by a MAGA guy, Steve Bannon. The second step was going after Trump on this Iran bombing raid he did. They started shrieking Armageddon, global nuclear war. And did it turn out that way? No. They looked stupid on that one. Now their next move is this Jeffrey Epstein thing. I'll tell you what their next issue is. Their next big issue when this goes away is going to be Ukraine and sending arms to Zelensky. I disagree with the president in sending arms to Ukraine, but he knows what he's doing. You've got to trust this guy. He's never let us down. And so, you know, he may let us down. He may let us down sometime in the future, but he's not letting us down on Epstein. He's going to get Epstein. It may take a few months. He doesn't want it to go. They're like, oh, we're going to lose. Bannon said we're going to lose 40 seats in Congress in the midterms. I'm like, the midterms are a year and a half away. Trump's going to have this all done in the next 3 or 4 months. He won't let it go into next year. So, you know, there's another side to this story, and I'm the other side, and I'm sticking my neck out. Frankly, it's not in my best interest to go up against Steve Bannon, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Marjorie Taylor Greene, because those people can destroy me with 3 words with their audiences. So you know that this is coming from a place of this is what I think is really happening. And if you want to see another guy that agrees with me, go to X and go to Alpha Warrior. This is a former Marine and a guy who has it all figured out. He thinks Trump already has Epstein. The reason they're denying that Epstein committed suicide, that Epstein was murdered, is because he already has Epstein. They took Epstein out before he died. and they've got him in the witness protection program. Now that's mind blowing. And it sounds like a conspiracy theory. But if Epstein's still alive and Ghislaine Maxwell flips, they're taking down all the names right now and they're going to go arrest these people very shortly. Are they going to arrest Prince Andrew? You bet they're going to. But they have to get Interpol to arrest him because he's in England. So people have thought about all these things. I've thought about all these things, and we are in the majority. Most of MAGA supports President Trump. A lot of people on Twitter are saying, "Hey, can we get off Epstein for a second? This is really not why we have Trump in here. Did we want him to get rid of the deep state? Absolutely, and he's trying to do that." But it doesn't happen like fixing the economy. It's a miracle the way he's fixed the economy. He can't get rid of a deep state that's been around for 50 years in 5 minutes.
Well, it's been longer than 5 minutes. And I think what a lot of people are unsatisfied with, to put it that way, is the way he's been handling it and the narrative that he's been creating. Because now he came forward saying, oh, but the Epstein or the client list is boring. I could not even understand why people would be interested in it. And that feels like you don't trust the American people, because it is super important. We're talking about pedophiles. We're talking about the most horrendous crime any human can commit. And these are high-level officials that have gotten away with it, facing zero consequences. It's not more than normal that people want to have justice and they demand answers. How do you feel about the way that he's been downplaying that?
I think he's downplaying it on purpose. This does not sound like Trump, does it? That's why everybody's so worried. It doesn't sound like Trump. I think Trump is acting. I think he's pulling a counter coup. They've been trying to coup his governments, his first term and his second term, for a long time. His enemies, the enemies of the state, the enemies of the people, the enemies of humanity. And so it does not sound like Trump. And that's what my first tip off. This sounds very different. This sounds like Trump is acting. When he interrupted, they asked Pam Bondi in a cabinet meeting to talk about this, and he interrupted her. He said, let me just say something first. And he cut her off. And then he laid down the groundwork for what might be the greatest deception of all time. The deception of all the conservative media who supported him. The deception of all of the Democrats and the pedophiles themselves. When I say he can't do this in 5 minutes, I literally meant he can't do this in 7 months. He might need a little more time, but he is not ignoring it. And I know he's giving the impression he's ignoring it, but he's not ignoring it. This is one of his top priorities. And so now that he's dealt with the immigration and economy in 7 months or 6 months, he's going on to other things, such as protecting children. He just signed the Fentanyl Act to protect all our children dying yesterday. And they had a fentanyl angel mom on there who lost both of her sons in the same night because they thought they were taking a moderate painkiller and it had fentanyl, and both of them died. So he cares about children. This is not, it doesn't sound like Trump to be like ignoring a global pedophile network. But let me just ask, what are they doing in Asia about the global pedophile network? Nothing. What are you doing in Europe? Are you doing anything? Is this an issue over there? No. So once again, America's leading the charge.
Yeah, okay, but you're talking about continents, and that is different. America is a country.
Let's talk about
Asia isn't a country. Neither is Europe. We're different separate nations.
Okay.
And I do agree with you. Of course, in every continent, you'll find a pedophile ring. You'll find a criminal organization that is running these horrendous crimes. And each one of them need to be taken down. We cannot allow anyone to abuse children. Period. There's no discussion about it. But in America, being under President Trump, you're so blessed to have such a great president that has been disappointing that so far he has not delivered on what people would like to see. And then I would like to go to the last question, is that we see that it's been dividing MAGA. We've seen that now, unfortunately, there have been two camps. People like you that are standing with Trump and people that are wanting to have answers and are questioning, why do we still not get the transparency that we're so desperately are hoping for?
They're doing what the Democrats do, which is making it sound like the Democrats and their pedophile network, everything awful they do, is what everybody is doing. There's only a small amount of people who are turning against Trump. Most of the MAGA base, and I know the MAGA base too. It's not only the Tucker Carlsons of the world that understand MAGA. I would say he understands it less well than I do. MAGA is sick of it. MAGA is sick of people trying to rip us apart. It was inconceivable that this would happen 2 weeks ago. Inconceivable. It's obviously a Democrat scam and a hoax, as Trump calls it. So Trump is he's gonna do big things on this soon. I agree. There's nothing worse than child sex trafficking, but America's been on top of this for the last several years. We had a movie called Sound of Freedom. I don't know if anybody in Europe has seen Sound of Freedom with Jim Caviezel, but I'll tell you that blew open the whole issue and really tied into the emotional psyche of Americans. It opened up our minds to what's going on globally and how they're smuggling children and using them for sex and then killing them and harvesting their organs. No, we know about this, but it can't be solved on Steve Bannon's time schedule. It can't be solved on Europeans' time schedule. It's going to be solved on Trump's time schedule, and he's going to do it right. So, maybe he lets us down this time. It would be a first. Would be a first that he lets us down. But it's not that it's not a priority at all. It's just, it couldn't be a priority as big as the border or the economy. Obviously, it has to come after those things. And so he's going to, trust in Trump. He's never let us down. You've been watching over there. Your leaders have been following his lead and going for national populism and Belgium first or Netherlands first or Italy first. That is the right philosophy, the right political philosophy to change your countries and turn around the awful things that are happening there. So this whole tempest in a teapot has been started by some very ill-informed, very silly people. I don't know why they would risk their reputations. If Trump comes out and starts arresting 200 global pedophiles in 3 months, these people are going to look very stupid and they're going to lose their viewership.
Well, I hope you're right. What is the timeline that you are expecting, and how much time do you think we can see results?
I've said it a few times, 3 to 4 months, and I think it may happen even sooner. So when Ghislaine Maxwell flips, when Ghislaine Maxwell flips, she obviously, whether the client list exists in a printed form or not, she has it in her head. She knows all the people. She recruited all these girls. I mean, she was knee deep in this thing, and she's doing 20 years. Before last week, nobody cared. No, Ghislaine Maxwell was off everybody's radar. Nobody was discussing her. She was in federal prison for 20 years. I actually think Trump he's smart enough, and he is playing 5D chess. He's smarter than anybody else in the world, including Elon Musk. Elon Musk may build big companies, but Trump is running the greatest country in the world, and Elon Musk couldn't do that. So I really believe that, that Trump, I agree with what Alpha Warrior says. If you want to see somebody else, I know I'm the outlier. I'm like the only guy in the world who's fighting. The rest of the people are saying, Trump's on fire. He's a dumpster fire. He's not doing the right things. I got to tell you, listen to Alpha Warrior and how he lays it out. He says Trump has Epstein and witness protection. I am sure Trump is not leaving Ghislaine Maxwell in federal prison where she could be killed by other inmates. I'm sure he has her out of that prison, and they're talking to her and they're debriefing her, and the lawyers and the law enforcement people are going to work on her and saying, look, we'll put you back into prison and put you in general population where you will certainly be killed unless you tell us what's happening. So you've got a choice. Save yourself and tell us the truth, or else we'll put you back in prison and you can die there, So there are all kinds of things going on with this. It's not that Trump's doing nothing. Stop listening to that. Trump is always doing something. He's always multitasking, and he can work on 40 or 50 things at the same time, but he does have priorities. And, the economy, obviously, when you're paying $9 for a dozen eggs, he's got to change that. Milk, things like people need to eat. I'm sorry, Jeffrey Epstein comes after people eating. Don't listen to it's already starting to fizzle out here. These people who were shrieking 2 days ago are starting to understand that they don't represent MAGA. They don't know what's going on in MAGA's head. And they're not paying attention to the people on Twitter and you can find them if you look for them. They're saying, leave Trump alone. He's engaged in the most important work that a person can possibly do. So, I just gotta beg for people's indulgence and patience a little bit. So I say 3 or 4 months. He's not going to let it go into next year, because then he risks the midterms at the end in November of 2026. So he's got a time schedule of his own, and he's not sharing it with people like Tucker Carlson.
Okay, thank you so much, Bill, for sharing all of your thoughts with us. And of course, when you're watching this, we really want to hear and know what you are thinking. Do you agree with Bill, or do you think Trump, what's going on, open up those documents ASAP? Let us know in the comments. Bill, once again, thank you so much for being with us here today. Last sentence, if people want to follow you, and I definitely urge them to do so, what's the best way to do that?
At Relentless Bill everywhere.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks so much.